Hey guys, everything new on this on here. This is a Zero Hedge article. Now I'm not going to go through the whole article, but I wanted to bring you up to speed about the reason why Russia is very likely in Syria. Russia doesn't particularly care about Bashar Assad's government. They have their own interests in Syria, and this is why there's always wars in Syria, and this is also why the U.S. is in Syria. It's not particularly because the commanders of the U.S. and the the president thinks that it's protecting civilians. I mean, that's the media propaganda side of things, and maybe there's a portion of that. But very much likely the larger scenario is indeed because there's interests there that Russia and the U.S. have, and that's why they're both in Syria. Now we see the gas pipeline here that Russia has to Europe, Turkish Stream gas pipeline here, and that's one of the reasons why also they took over Crimea, because they want another warm water port for their ships, and they want more control over the pipelines that go through the area. Now, if we look at this image, this kind of says it all. I really don't need to read the article. This says everything. You see, the red line is the Iran-Iraq-Syria pipeline, and it's Russian-backed. So this is the pipeline here, and it runs through Iran and then through northern Iraq and through Syria. And of course, they want to sell to Europe. Europe is the big market that has the money right now to buy it. And then the blue line is the Qatar-Turkey pipeline, and it is backed by the U.S., interestingly. So they have pipelines that are crossing in Syria, apparently. And so whoever wins the battle gets to have their oil pipeline go through Syria if they're controlling it and if they're on the side of whatever government is in Syria. And that's why the U.S. wants to get rid of Bashar Assad, because Bashar Assad probably doesn't want to work with the U.S. and U.S. allies related to its pipeline that needs to go through Syria. And of course you got Russia there to keep Bashar Assad in, to make friends with Bashar Assad, so that their pipeline can get through, and they're making lots of money. And certainly there's going to be a Russian pipeline that would come through Syria, I would think, and they want to control all the pipelines through there and supply every area, not just Europe but everywhere. This is the real reason why the battle is in Syria, because the oil is coming through Syria. The pipelines of transportation, it's being transported through Syria. This is why battles happened in Iraq. That was a battle over the control of the oil, and there's a lot of U.S. Big oil companies in Iraq right now. And that's why it's happening in Syria. And the next one is going to be Lebanon if they had to go through there, and maybe even the states up above Syria and into Turkey. And with Turkey having a dictatorship now, the coup that occurred or whatever, that didn't occur actually, but with Erdogan becoming more of a Muslim Brotherhood type leadership guy, then he's going to have control. He's probably going to be cooperating with Russia a bit more on that one. And the U.S. won't like that, because the U.S. won't have the ability to send their pipeline, their U.S.-backed pipeline through Turkey. So that's going to cause another war in the area that assumes the U.S. wants to go to war there. But like I say, the big battleground right now is Syria, and also Israel has a lot of oil and gas right now. Massive discovery of oil and gas in the Mediterranean Sea. So Russia's in Syria right now, and could the hook in the jaw be the oil that Russia then sees down below? If Russia could get its hands on the oil and gas, which are massive, massive reserves, off Israel, then they could ship that straight to Europe without having to come from Iran. So it's even cheaper to get Europe oil and gas. And we know that Israel is already pushing oil and gas deals with Europe. And Russia doesn't like that, because that's a direct competitor, and probably even the U.S. doesn't like that, because again, that's a direct competitor. I don't know if the U.S. is backing any sort of Israeli oil and gas pumping. I know the U.S. does have some companies in Israel helping out there, Whether that's more a higher political thing or not, I don't know. But anyways, this is the whole story. This is the main reason why countries are in Syria, because there's oil, there's money to be had there, there's interests they need to protect, and so the battle is over who is going to control the area, who is going to be able to have their oil pipelines running through it. So I think that gives you a real good idea of what the real reasons are, why we're there, and based on the outcome, that's going to drive one nation up and one nation down. Currently, it seems like Russia's probably going to win this battle. Just politically, if you look there, U.S. doesn't really have the will to go directly up against Russia, but Russia does have the will to go directly up against U.S. if it has to. It's rolling out its Satan II super nukes, and it's having a big show of force with moving its ships through, pass around Britain, going to the wintering ports in the Mediterranean. Actually, up in the Black Sea, I think, is where they're headed. But there's also a port off Syria as well, which they were interested in moving their ships to, and I know they had to ship there at one point. I don't know if they still do or not. I think there's a website that shows a map of warships in and around these countries. Regardless, I will leave it there. I won't rattle on. But this, like I said, this is a true reason why countries go to war in most cases, to control their interests, and it's about big money, and it's less about humanitarian reasons or taking down dictatorship governments like they did in Iraq. For example, a lot of the people in Iraq would prefer to be under Saddam Hussein because the country was somewhat modern and there was stability there, even though it was a dictatorship. Now it's just chaos and run by drug lords, as in the case of Afghanistan, warlords and drug lords and whatever else. The next dictatorship is what's happening there. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll put the link. You can check it out and read the whole article. And we will see you guys in the next video.